'69, the kingdoms of the Christians, Aragon and Castile, had become united by the marriage of Ferdinand and Isabella. From 1484, they campaigned against the Moors and gradually closed in and then blockaded the city. So we get the conquest of Granada, 2nd of January, 1492. Ferdinand and Isabella entered Granada as its masters. They exiled Abu Abdallah. Abu Abdallah is his proper name, but in European accounts he's called Boabdil. Abu Abdallah, Boabdil, same person. So they exiled Abu Abdallah, where his descendants learned to beg for their daily bread. 4 years later, King Manuel of Portugal ordered the expulsions of the Africans. Those expulsions continued up to the time of King Philip III, who completed the policy in 1609. Some returned to North and West Africa, but others fled elsewhere in Europe. Where in Europe did some of them go? England. You follow me? John Blank, all that stuff. Yeah, they end up here, some of them. It is stated, writes Professor Lane Poole, that no less than 3 million of Moors were banished between the fall of Granada and the first decade of the 17th century. They were cleaned out. All right, now the question is how do the Spaniards remember this?
Again, we as Moors of the Western empires, right, going all the way from the Horn, not the Horn, but from the Cape, all the way from the Ivory Coast, all the way up around into Mauritania, what is now Mauritania, Morocco, Tunis, Tripoli, Egypt, and then going all the way back down to the Ivory Coast, Cameroon, and then inside Mali, all of that was the western portion of the empire. So we here, as the Moors, have to understand that we are the torchbearers of that bloodline, because after Granada, which one thing they don't tell you is that after the expulsion of Granada, all of the noblemen and people like that already had estates set up for them over here, because those estates was established for them over there. Because remember, it was our ancestors from northwestern and northern Africa that went up into what they now call España, set up all those dominions as far up into the southern France, what we call the Pyrenees today. Again, we as Moors of the Western empires.
My heart goes boom.
Three, two, one, and go. 3, 2, 1, and 3,
Boom.
2, 1, and go.
Boom.
3, 2, 1,
Boom.
go. 3,
Boom.
2, 1, and
My heart goes boom. 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 My heart goes boom. My heart goes. My heart goes boom. My heart goes boom. Goes boom. heart goes boom.
2, 1,
My heart goes boom.
3, 2, 1, and go. 3, 2, 1, and 3,
Boom.
2, 1, and go.
Boom.
3, 2, 1,
Boom.
go. 3,
Boom.
2, 1,
My heart goes boom.
So please, man, enlighten us. Toussaint Louverture, he was a Moor, and we had no idea about this.
Absolutely. You know, a lot of times I like to start from Z and work my way back to A. And just because I think when it comes to disseminating information, context is very important.
Right.
And perspective is very important. So what I would say first is when you understand the complexion of what was taking place during the period of the Moorish fall in Spain, right? They had something, there's a book, it came out in the 1800s. It was given to junior high school students.
Wow.
Yeah, the book is called The Discovery of America by Spain was an outgrowth of the conquest of the Moors in Spain. Excuse me. The Discovery of America was an outgrowth of the conquest of the Moors in Spain.
Wow.
Right? So the first place they went to when the Spanish or Christopher Columbus, where he landed when he got to the Americas, was Hispaniola, which is current day Haiti.
That's true.
Dominican Republic.
Yep.
Right? So he never reached North American territory or land that we're in, like the continent of North America. He landed there, Hispaniola. When he got there, his records say that he saw mosques and minarets.
Wow.
Right. He said he saw this. Now, he was familiar with this in Europe.
Saw it before.
Right. And he spent 27 years on the coast of Africa before ever sailing to America.